Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another Star Wars Destiny video. And today is really exciting. That's right, I'm feeling like I have a spirit of rebellion about me. Yep, we got some new spoilers for the next set. It's probably not going to be out for a while. It says Q2 2017. You're going to hear it here first. My prediction is Star Wars Worlds in May. It will drop. It won't be legal, but there'll be some awesome side events there. But that's another story. Let's get to the cards. All kinds of interesting cards were spoiled. Not that many, but boy, are they interesting. The most interesting, not the best, mind you, the most interesting is Palpatine, Galactic Emperor. So Palpatine is pretty awesome, as you would expect. 2 damage, 3 damage, 2 discard, 2 shields, and 1 resource. Okay. His ability, phenomenal. After you resolve his die, force an opponent to deal 2 damage to their characters distributed as they wish. That's the kicker, right? So it'll be hard to blitz one guy down, but it will be easy to just spread damage around. And 15 health. Whoa. Most health in the game. More than Lord Vader himself. He must cost a little bit, right? Like, what? Maybe, let's see, Vader is 1621. I'm going to go with, if he's going to be this good, can't go higher than 23, right? Because you got to be able to run a Stormtrooper with him. We'll say 1823. That seems reasonable. 2128? What? That's right. If you run Elite Palpatine, you just get Elite Palpatine. So, with his cost and his card, he feels pretty terrible. But let me couch this with this statement. I do not believe that there is going to be Elite Palpatine that's 28 and you just sit Palpatine down and then you lose. I'm guessing there is a card that's going to be released with this set that is something like a setup card that costs 2 and it's only for Palpatine. And it says something about, like, if Palpatine is your only character, mitigate the first damage each turn. Something like that. Something so that Palpatine doesn't just get destroyed. I mean, he still struggles with things like Crime Lord, right? Crime Lord would be real bad for him. But I think the point of Palpatine is you go fast and furious and win quickly, which frankly shocks me. I thought Palpatine would be the ultimate Jabba-like control card, right? Pulling the strings, bring me young Skywalker, right? I don't see Palpatine as like, I gotta win in 3 turns or I lose. Palpatine feels like more of the long haul character, or should be, but the way he's designed, he looks much more like, I better win quick because all I got here is Palpatine. And with that, those 2 mill sides look real weird, or the double mill side. Like, it's a great die side, but in an aggro deck, that needs to be a damage side. Like, if everything was as is and it was 2, 3, 4, he would be bonkers, and people would still play him elite 28 cost Palpatine, just pray to win quick. And it would be a reasonable deck. As it stands, I don't think this Palpatine is playable, but like I said, I don't think it's going to stand this way. I just can't imagine FFG was like, we're going to make this legendary who's totally unplayable, and he's like a foundational character. I really think there's going to be something with him, some really cool helper card that we're all going to go, oh, now I get it. Oh, I can't wait to try Palpatine. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say, while I don't think he looks great, I think he's going to be great. I'm real excited for this Palpatine. I think he's going to be a cool card. And I think he's going to be a chase legendary that everyone is going to want. All right. Who do I think is the best card that was spoiled? Well, that's Director Krennic. Actually, my favorite character from Rogue One. When I watched Rogue One, I thought, wow, these characters are really one-dimensional characters. But not Director Krennic. This dude is like the whole story. He's the, the Imperial officer trying to make his way in the Imperial world. He designs this awesome Death Star. People try to take credit, right? And so Krennic, I really liked him as a character, and his card is really good. He has the most interesting card we've seen yet. So first of all, red unique with 12 health is awesome. We're looking at Phasma level health kind of stuff, so you can play things like Commanding Presence. This is the card we've been looking for that card. His dice are very interesting. 2 damage, a focus, 2 resource denial, 2 mill, so he's like this incredibly flexible card, and you think like, well, he doesn't do enough damage, but his ability's crazy. After you activate this character, if you control the battlefield, roll a Death Trooper die into your pool. Death Trooper die, let's take a look at that. 1 damage, 1 damage, 2 damage, plus 2 damage. What? 4 damage sides on a die? Oh my goodness. So Krennic looks pretty darn good, and he's expensive, as he should be, for getting, 2 dice or 3 dice is what you're getting with this guy, as long as you're getting the battlefield. And 19 sounds like a lot for the elite, but for villains, 19 is like the perfect number. I mean, you get all kinds of great guys. Dooku costs 11 for his 1 die form. You can have Jabba at 11 for his 1 die form. You get just all of these different options. I believe Veers is 11 as well. I actually don't really use Veers, but I'm pretty sure he's 11 as well. 11, 14. So you can basically pair Krennic with 3 different types of decks, right? Do you want to play like a late game deck where you're putting Dooku with him and just trying to kind of like get to the late game? You have high quality dice, you're rolling 3 dice. Do you want to do something like maybe Elite Veers and have 4 dice as long as you have the battlefield? Do you want to do Jabba and go like a total mill style? There's all of these different opportunities and different ways to play Krennic, and because of that, I think he's going to be one of the absolute foundational pieces of the next set. Now, anything I say is really pointless because there's going to be a whole new set of characters, so I'm looking at this set of characters and how they mesh with Krennic. The next set might not mesh at all, and they'll mesh better with other guys. I don't know. All what I'm saying is if you put Krennic in the card pool today, he would be bananas good, whereas somebody like Palpatine would not be as effective. All right, let's go ahead and look at the Death Trooper then, since we just talked about him a little bit. This guy is really interesting. He costs 10, so he's a little bit more than you're used to out of your non-uniques, but he's got 10 health. He has the health of a unique character. Look at this. We reached 30, people. We reached 30 health. You run 3 Death Troopers. That is 30 health on 3 bodies, rolling 3 of these banana dice every turn. You put holdout blasters, you put F11s down. You've got these Death Troopers that, when they die, which are kind of hard to kill at 10, their weapons are moving to other guys. If there are more redeploy weapons in the next set, oh my goodness. I think 3 Death Troopers will be a really, really scary lineup that I'm really looking forward to playing. So, Death Trooper, super solid card. He's going to be great. All right, let's move to the next one. The next one is Jyn Erso. We're going to skip Force Lightning for now, although it's bananas. So Jyn Erso is the next character. She is the only hero character we have spoiled so far. And she's really interesting. Like, she's clearly good, right? She's got 2 damage sides, 2 mill sides. She has 11 health. She has a really amazing ability. Each yellow event you play is decreased by 1. There's so many good yellow events. I mean, geez, like Disarm's free now. Electroshock is free. And then when you pair it with something like Infamous, let's say you paired her with Han, you're getting all these extra shields and stuff off your ambush, free yellow events. Like, her ability is great. And what I really love about her dice side is a new trend. And this is something that FFG said in their article, that they are looking now to make more characters that are trying to do something, right? So, like, somebody like Han, he's great. He has 2 damage sides, and he has two resource sides, and that's cool. But we don't have a lot of characters that are really focused. Like, Jabba the Hutt is clearly a, like, control mill character, but he doesn't have 2 mill sides, right? And so, Jyn is this move in this direction of being like, okay, here's what this character does. You either want her to be a damage character or a mill character. And really, you probably want her to be a mill character that does damage. And I really like that move. So her dice, her character looks great. Her cost is crazy high. 1520. I was frankly quite shocked when I saw that. What that tells me is, with the balancing, there must be some characters that they were kind of worried that they didn't want her to pair with because they thought that pairing would be too good. In a vacuum, 1520 looks too expensive to me. I'm sure she's going to be good. Like, already you could go Elite Jyn Akbar and have a lot of discard out of hand. With that much discard out of hand, you're probably going to be triggering Akbar's ability as well, which is more damage. But to be honest, that deck doesn't scare me that much. It feels okay. I think there's probably going to be a better mill deck with Jyn as its focal point. And she could maybe even just go in a damage deck, because pulling cards out of people's hands means it slows them down. They can't reroll as much. And so your damage deck tends to do a little more. They can't mitigate as well. What's really going to be the sticking point for me is, will there be a hero character that's 7 cost? There is not currently in the first set. If there is, I'm fine with the 15 cost. But if there's not, I would way rather see 14. So you could do the 1-die Jyn and be able to have 2 other characters. Now, I will say this. A 1-die Jyn and then 2 Rebel Troopers with Guardian on them, that seems like too much. So I'd like to see a more vanilla 7-cost character, more along the lines of the Stormtrooper, that it's just a body, it's more damage. When Jyn dies, her holdout blaster, her other redeploy weapons can go over to the the vanilla 7-coster, and you can continue trying to play a game. So I think she's interesting. I think her cost point is high. I'm not saying it's necessarily too high, but I think it's definitely high, and it's going to make building Jyn Erso decks interesting, to say the least. All right. Force Lightning, wow. All I can say is wow. Remember when I said Holocron was kind of busted? Holocron gets more busted every time we see a really good blue villain ability. And Force Lightning, wow. It has 5 damage sides. We haven't seen this before. You want a card that does damage? Here's a card that does damage. The special side is kind of interesting. Like, it's not very good, actually. It's one of the first dice I've seen where the special feels like the weakest side. Doing 1 damage, you're going to be very disappointed. And pulling one of your dice off the board to have it go again is not as great as it sounds. I mean, what is great about it is that, if you've done your rerolls already and you're stuck with blanks, this is a way to re-roll the lightning off what is close to a blank to turn it to maybe a better side. But the sides that do damage are it's a really cool card too, because only one of them is straight damage. So you're paying repeatedly to be able to use this Force Lightning, but boy, oh boy, 3 and 4? That just feels insane. So stuff like Palpatine will be interesting with him. But I think what's going to be way better are these cards like Dooku, right? That just don't die that easily, and especially if you have multiple blue heroes or multiple blue characters in a deck that you're having a hard time killing, being able to, whatever character they're focusing down, you put Force Lightning on the other one, and it's like, oh no, I got to shift over to that guy now. He has Force Lightning on him. So Force Lightning is just a terrifyingly good card. It makes a card like Mind Probe, which costs 4, look like it should cost like 2. Force Lightning is disgustingly good. I can't wait to use it. All right. Let's move on then to the hero events. We've got Rebel Assault. 0 cost red event that's mitigation. That's really exciting. And it's really exciting mitigation too. It's mitigation that does not allow you to pull off damage. So it's more for like, it's going to be so good for red when people play like Force Throw, right? So you go first with your red character, you get a couple bad rolls, you get a couple, whatever, you get a gun, you got 2 more guys to go, your opponent shakes up their die, Force Throw, and you're like, great. Now I don't want to roll any of my dice. Well, guess what? You've got Rebel Assault. And I really like that the cost is 0, and I thought at first you had to remove a die, which I was a little bit worried about, but you don't. You just have to have damage showing. So it's going to fit really well in these red trooper gun lists that have very little mitigation right now. I like it. I like this card a lot. If it costs 0 and it's pretty decent, I'm going to like the card. So I can't wait to play it. All right. Your eyes can deceive you. This is a cool one. A support that only costs 1. Okay. Okay. After one of your dice rolls a shield. All right. There's a lot of dice that do that. You may exhaust the support to turn an opponent's die to any side. What? So it's not after one of your die rolls a shield, give up that die. It's not after you resolve a shield, do this. This is you just roll a die that does a shield. That is really, really interesting. And it really is going to change our evaluation of dice that just happen to have a random shield side on them that you're not even going to use. It's going to be really good. I am really excited for this card. It's going to fit in a lot of hero decks, at least as a one of. Repeat control is really strong. Really, really, really strong. I'm very excited for this card. I think it's going to be phenomenal. All right, never tell me the odds. Let's just read the ability first. Choose one of your yellow characters. Turn any number of its character and upgrade dice to sides of your choice. What? That sounds amazing. Oh my goodness. So you've got your Han deck, right? You've got your 2 dice Han. You've got 2 jetpacks on him. And we got to assume there's another yellow gun coming. Boom. Come on, God roll. Ugh. Garbage roll. Darn it. Oh, I have never tell me the odds in hand. 3 damage. Oh, I only have 1 resource. So 3 damage, 2 damage, plus 3, 2. I'll kill, say, anyone I want. So certainly the power level of the card is insane. The problem is the cost. The cost really mirrors the power level here. 3 costs for an event is a lot of money. Now, we did see Jyn Erso reduces the cost. So 2 costs for this card becomes suddenly way more reasonable. I think this is a card that's probably going with Jyn. Without Jyn, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to pay 3 to fix your dice, especially since your opponent can still, mitigate it. It's hard to mitigate a whole pile of dice, though, I will say that. So we'll have to see how it fits in. It's clearly a high power level card. It's going to kind of depend on what do resources look like with set 2. How often are we able to get them? We did see there was another card spoiled. It's not fully spoiled. The supply line, it just shows you the dice side, and it's like 1 resource, plus 1 resource, plus 1 resource, plus 1 resource. And that's a kind of card that, maybe gets us into a framework where resources are more plentiful, and something like Never Tell Me the Odds is going to be playable. I don't know. I do know this. The card is good. Is it good for its cost? Becomes a whole nother ball game. We'll have to explore that as set 2 comes. So thanks so much for watching, and thank you to swdestiny.com. They have all the spoilers up there. This is the site I was using. As always, if you want to support the channel, you can go to Patreon Tiny Grimes. You can go to BrokenEggGames.com and put TG Games in the discount code coupon. And I'll see you next time on the Tiny Grimes channel.